Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Midday Live, coming to you from our studio here at Adesanwe in Accra. I am Martin Esiedu-Date. Coming up for the next 1 hour. Parliament to consider 3 new tax bills as part of measures to secure a $3 billion deal with the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. We have details for you in a second. Also this afternoon, former President John Dramani Mahama backs calls for public funding of political parties in Ghana. Some civil society organizations have been reacting. We'll give you those reactions also shortly. And later, when we turn to business, ratings agency Fitch says financing assurance to support Ghana's bailout from the IMF would likely come after the second quarter. We'll be giving you details shortly. Elsewhere around the world on the international front, Equatorial Guinea confirms 8 more Marburg cases in the country. Thank you for staying with us. Let's settle for the details of our stories now. We are starting from the House of Legislature, that is Parliament, because Parliament will later today consider tax bills currently before the House as part of measures to secure a $3 billion deal with the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. MPs will vote on the Income Tax Amendment Bill, the Excise Duty and Excise Tax Stamp Amendment Bills, and the Growth and Sustainability Levy Bill. According to government, if approved, the bills will lead a revenue yield of approximately 3.96 billion Ghana cedis this year. There have been concerns from industry about the impact the bills will have on the already high cost of doing business in the country, a move which has been supported by the minority in Parliament. Government has already gone through some other measures as part of the IMF deal, including the inclusion of Domestic Debt Exchange Program, the DDEP. Others are utility tariff adjustment, onboarding of the Ghana Education Trust Fund, District Assemblies Common Fund, and Road Fund for Ghana Integrated Financial Management Information Systems, the GIFMIS. And then also there is the publication of the Auditor General's report on COVID-19, which the President has come to defend, saying that the government was not reckless in its borrowing and spending. So these bills, we are told that is before Parliament. We are expecting the minority in the House to also give a take on it. Already, a number of them they have been opposed to. There are those they are supporting, but they're asking critical questions and are asking for clarification on them. Let's speak to Komla Kluche, our parliamentary correspondent, on this. Komla, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. We understand the former president met with the minority caucus earlier, regarding the passage of these 3 bills. Give us an update. What exactly was the meeting, was the outcome of the meeting?
That meeting, I am told, lasted for about an hour and a half or 2, and John Mahama, meeting the minority NDC MPs, stressed the fact that whatever action they take will be in the interest of the country, and that once it's the decision of the NDC entirely to be averse to these 3 bills in the current form in which they are, the party or the whip system must work, and that they must remain resolved and resolute in the total rejection of this. In fact, I am told that even before the minority MPs had gotten to John Mahama, they themselves within the caucus have already resolved that this is not something that they are going to approve. In fact, they also make the point that yes, indeed, the report of the Finance Committee was that of a consensus. However, there are some concessions that they are making beyond just the fact that the Finance Committee had a consensus in the passage of these bills. In their report, they've had some support though, but the minority members are demanding further of this. In fact, listening even throughout the debate, on the state of the nation, you realize that about 2 or 3 things were quite clear. Reduction in the size of the government, show evidence that yes, you are burden sharing, and you need to cut down on expenditure. All of these things, they are indicating that they need to show proof of it. But the resolve is actually even beyond just this. They make the point that, okay, the CI that is currently before the House, that needs to be properly looked at in the form in which it is. It needs to be amended. Remember the issue of the passport being the major or the main guarantor thing that needs to go off. The minorities are averse to that, and they say that no, it needs to be amended. These are some of the positions that the minority is holding, and that's even one of the reasons why it's been difficult for the majority to have these 3 bills passed, and these are prerequisites for the IMF deal.
And we know, Komla, that Parliament will be rising shortly, probably in the next week or probably. So let us know when exactly the House will be rising. And before that, will this bill get the needed debate and the probable passage, or the minority is just going to, totally reject the bills as we know it?
Well, the House is rising hopefully next week, Friday. But before that, you need to be able to secure, a passage of these bills. These are major revenue bills that will rake in over 4 billion that the government needs. However, you cannot just be counting on the fact that you're rising, so you will be having this. We know the numbers are evenly split. As we speak now from our checks, the majority MPs stand up to 136. That's inclusive of the independent. The minority MPs are also 136. However, if this comes to the floor, the debate is done, and then the speaker puts the question and it goes to a voice vote, the speaker will use his discretion. If it is challenged, especially by the minority, then it presupposes that they need to go for a head count. Now, if they go for head count, the rules of the House tells us that once there's a time, the vote is completely lost. And that's actually one of the things that the majority is avoiding. As we speak, we are unaware if they have the full complement of the members from the minority. I have not even seen somebody like Sarah Adwoa-Safo in this instance. The majority MPs are in their numbers. In fact, 136 or 137 of them, I must say, inclusive of the
independent
North and MP. I'm talking about the NDC MPs, including the embattled Jeche Quayson, were at John Mahama's house this morning. They have the full complement of their team. For the majority, we are unaware. Actually, yes, a good number of them have come in-house. We have seen Kennedy at Japan. We have seen, almost all of them are here, but we do not know if they have the full complement of theirs. A good number of the minority MPs who are also in the chamber now are all packed in their offices at Job 600, just awaiting the speaker's arrival. Once the speaker arrives and they zoom straight into action, you see them troop in, and then they come and pull the dagger, as they call it. And in fact, this is what they say they've been able to declare in terms of the action that they are taking. They say that they have declared a positive non-cooperation in the interest of Ghana. That is to say that the 3 bills will not be passed. The CI in the current form in which it is will also not be passed, and they will use their numbers to ensure that these 4 items do not sail through.
All right. Komla, thank you very much. Certainly a very interesting time coming up in Parliament. We'll see how it plays out, because government does really need those bills passed in their favor. Whereas the minority is also saying that for God and country, they want to scrutinize those bills before they approve of it or probably reject it. By close of day today, or probably by close of this week, we'll get to know how these bills fare in the House. In a related development, though, Samson Asaki Awingobe, who is the Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, have a few concerns about one of those bills, which has to do with the excise stamp that we are also told that has had some revenue increase. So he's joined us via phone for a quick position on this. Mr. Awingobe, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on TV3.
Thank you for having me.
clearly, government is in a fix and says that these bills or this revenue that they are expecting from the bills will go a long way to help, reshape the economy or get the economy back on track. What are your exact reservations about the bill?
Well, thank you very much. What we have said as a body is that the business community are overburdened. The manufacturing industries are all crying. We are struggling with too much taxes upon taxes since 2017. The government promised to take us move us from taxation to corruption. Unfortunately, 6 years down the lane, we have seen many taxes that the government has introduced on the people of Ghana. The current prices of goods and services not easy at all. Ghanaian consuming power have been reducing day in, day out. And I can tell you, a government, quite recently, after the 30% increase of public workers, the government saw that the PULC increases the tariff still brought the consumers back to square zero. As we speak, prices of goods continue to be increasing day in, day out. And so, as we speak, we saw the 2023 budget. Before the 2023 budget was presented, we saw Gupta, Kumasi, Gupta, Accra shut down their shops because they are raising issues in regards to taxation. The president met and assured us that there was going to be to do something about it. Unfortunately, just for us to saw 2023 budget that introduced another additional 2.5 VAT, making the VAT 6% flat at the port, plus COVID-19 levy, plus health insurance levy, plus debt fund levy, plus another terrorism levy. All these taxes have been brought by the government. And so, as we speak now, the business community is overburdened, and we strongly believe that we care about our consumer, we care about you, my brother Martin, we care about me, myself, as an example. I go to the market as well, that's the market that you will go. All what we are saying is that we don't know minority MPs and majority MPs in Parliament. All what we know is that there are members of Parliament in Parliament representing their constituents, and all these members when Parliament arrives and they go back to their city constituencies, you can see poverty glaring in their eyes, where the youth, even to the extent that those who even finish colleges, university and stuff, finish their
Mr. Wingobet, I think you are digressing. Your line isn't too clear, so I can't, it's not too clear in terms of what you're saying. But let me be sure I understand. So, which of the specific bills do you have a concern with? I think what I get from what you're saying is that there are too many other taxes that we are paying for. So, this will be an additional burden to the Ghanaian taxpayer. Is that the point you make?
It's going to not just the taxpayer but the consumer as well. We are saying there are three tax bills. There are three tax bills in Parliament, as you said. And so we are looking at the two tax bills. The 20% accessible duty taxes on carbonated drinks, and I'm told that there is tobacco is there. We are talking about the tobacco is there. But on carbonated drinks, we think that wine, spirit, and other things, beer, and other things, we think that there's already a tax component, accessible duty taxes on them. Then, of course, the 5% profit before tax. Tax 5% profit before tax again, we think that it's also going to be a killer businesses to the business community. Hence, we are saying that the government should hold on. I had argument with another media this morning where they said, okay, what about if the government says that if assuming I was to be in Parliament and they ask us, okay, to rather introduce excessive tax on tobacco and cigarette products, will I vote or not? I said, yes, I will vote, but we will not vote as this law says now. Because as soon as they go ahead to pass that bill, it will come back to hit consumers.
Mr. Wingobet. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Your point is actually clearly made. We are grateful for your time this afternoon. Samson Asakia Wingobet is the Executive Director of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, and they have concerns about some of the bills. So if you go to our website, 3news.com, you get a breakdown of which specific bills are being laid before Parliament, how much revenue is going to be generated from that, and why already some bodies are against it and asking the Parliament to reconsider the passage of it. Our colleague in Parliament, Komala Klutse, has also indicated that the minority is clearly averse to it. But we'll see what happens, and subsequent bulletins will update you on that. Meanwhile, some public sector labor unions have kicked against the passage of the bills, and the president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, Angel Kabonu, explains to TV3 that the bill, if passed, would make public sector workers worse off.
Workers in this country are already overtaxed. The tax level, you know, we are paying for VAT. At the same time, we are paying income tax. So it's double taxation. People argue that when the country introduced the value-added tax, then the income tax should have been taken off. But we are paying income tax, that is when we take salary. Government takes about 15% of our salaries as income tax. At the same time, when I go to the market to buy commodities, I pay a value-added tax on the commodities that I buy. My income should have been intact so that you tax me on my consumption. But in our country, you are taxing me on consumption, at the same time, taxing me on income. And the income tax, as we speak, is 15% or more. So one wonders what bill government is sent to Parliament. But again, before bills are sent to Parliament, don't we need wide stakeholder discussion and consultation?
All right, so let's go on to some other major talking points, within the Ghanaian political space. Former President John Dramani Mahama has backed calls for the public funding of political parties in Ghana. He argues that the proposal, when adopted, will help reduce the level of corruption and unnecessary pressure on governance. John Mahama also pledged to lead reforms if the NDC regains power in 2024's general election.
In a recent paper authored by the Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Alban S.K. Bagbin and Albert Ahinkan, titled Political Party Financing and Reporting in Ghana, A Practitioner's Perspectives, the authors recommended setting up a regulated fund, such as a common fund or a matching fund. This work by Bagbin and Ahinkan, together with the CDD reports and several others, are important resource documents for reform on campaign financing. They opine that these must be well structured to serve as an incentive for political parties to source private sector funding from legitimate sources. We must therefore engage on the way forward in the interest of our democracy. And it's not only campaign financing that must attract our interest. We must be bold in reviewing the entire framework of our democratic experiment, identifying reform gaps in the legal and institutional frameworks, and pushing for reforms, whether in the Constitution, Acts of Parliament, or other legal frameworks that are holding back our progress.
In a related development, some civil society organizations in the governance and anti-corruption space have endorsed the transparent and broad-based political financing strategy that was launched by former President John Dramani Mahama. The Executive Director of the Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh, noted that inasmuch as the initiative is laudable, it is a step in the right direction, but a bit more needs to be done to get it to move.
For citizens to contribute. So in that sense, that's fine. You know, it still doesn't close the other channel, which is the main source of concern, which is, money bags and individuals, few rich people who contribute unknown amounts of money and who therefore are believed through their contributions to capture the party or the campaign and therefore the candidate when they win. Now, this doesn't quite solve that problem yet, because you can still contribute through this mechanism while the money bags are still going directly to see the person in the house or the office and giving them the money. The question is, how do we deal with this one? How does this unless this becomes the only way? If you say nobody contributes except through an open, transparent platform like this, then you close off that other channel. So in some countries, in fact, you cannot contribute cash. You can only make a contribution through, exactly. If that becomes the law, if this becomes the mandatory platform for everybody, then we are getting somewhere. We're closing off that other alternative.
Meanwhile, Linda Oforikwa, who is executive director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative, noted that this is a step in the right direction, but just as a tip of the iceberg if Ghana or the country wants to fight corruption and effectively monitor political party financing.
You know, there's not much transparency around that. And anywhere we don't have transparency, then obviously corruption and all other things will flourish. So then if we are going to have a system like they have launched today, that actually makes us see, we can go online to see all the contributors, the amount they are given. Then it's actually a step in the right direction. And importantly also to say that the party should be accountable, or any person that participates in this process themselves should be accountable then to the Ghanaian who is contributing to this process. I think it's just a tip of the iceberg. The issue of political party financing is very big. And as the former president actually promised, is going to work with the CSOs that are working on this, the CDD leading, and all others that are supporting the process of improving our political financing regime in the country is very, very important. So
You're watching Midday Live on TV3. Let's stay on that subject because a former governor, I beg your pardon, a former Auditor General, that is Daniel Domlevo, says that strict regulatory frameworks and controls must be put in place if Ghana is to adopt a system where public funds are used to finance political party campaigns.
The activities that the politicians or aspirants of public office, be it presidential or parliamentary, are going to engage in is a public service. So in principle, public activities or public service activities must be funded from the public fund, just as we do not expect them to use public funds to fund their personal activities. So that is the principle. However, the use of public funds must be regulated carefully by law. The regulatory framework for this is not very clear. The laws that are on the ground as to transparency and accountability for party funding has not been respected or obeyed over the years. So we may have to ensure we have the right legal framework before we put our public resources there. Otherwise, we are going to open up a waste pipe. I think that anyone who invests so much money into coming into office may like to recoup it rightly or wrongly. And if especially the person borrowed the money, then it must be refunded to wherever it was borrowed. But then what we need to know or to do is to first put a limit on how much one can spend on party funding.
Just to watch Midday Live on TV3, let's shift our attention to some other politically related subjects because it's been days after President Akufo-Addo swore in 3 new members of the Electoral Commission board to replace those who had retired. The 3, Dr. Peter Apiahene, Reverend Ikua Ofori-Boateng, and Haja Salima Ahmed Tijani are together with the commissioners of the Electoral Commission to deliver on the EC's mandate. Who are these 3 individuals and what do they bring to the EC by way of professional competence? So let's give you a quick background of who specifically they are. So this is Reverend Ikua Ofori-Boateng, first female programs director of the Anglican Diocese of Accra. She also serves as the priest at the Holy Trinity Cathedral. She's a member of the USA Trade Committee on Africa, a trustee of the Otumfuo Osei the Second Foundation Board. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Engineering Physics and also a Master of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering and an MBA. So she is one of the 3. This is the man whose appointment has come up for strong criticism. Dr. Peter Apiahene, he is currently the chair of the Department of Computer Science and Informatics at the University of Energy and Natural Resources. He is an associate professor with over 10 years working experience. He is the head of the Science and Informatics Department, Chief Executive Officer, CY Technologies and Consultancy. He's a patron of the TESCON branch, University of Education in the Northern Region. Is that it? Oh, but at least University of I beg your pardon, Energy and Natural Resources. He also is included in a 6-member shortlist for the Bono Regional Ministers, which came up in 2021. So let me stay on this a bit, so that you get why he is the one that many are complaining about or talking about. The last but one pointer, which is that he is a patron of TESCON. Now, TESCON is the tertiary education unit of the NPP. In all of our major tertiary institutions, the branch of NPP there is called TESCON. And at the University of Energy and Natural Resources, we are told that he is the patron of the TESCON group there. So that's why people are complaining that he has a natural affiliation to the NPP. And the last point, when names were being thrown around as to who becomes the next Bono Regional Minister, he was also in there. So people say that he naturally and is a politically exposed person when it comes to the NPP. Okay, so put that aside. Let's go to the final person who was also sworn in by President Akufo-Addo 2 days ago to join the Electoral Commission board. So we have Hajia Salima Ahmed Tijani, who is a banker with close to 2 decades of experience, senior remittance officer, Agricultural Development Bank, member, Chartered Institute of Bankers, associate member, Boardroom Institute. She has a Bachelor of Arts degree in Integrated Development Studies, University of Development Studies, UDS, and then also she has an MBA in Project Management from GIMPA. She is the third individual to be sworn in by the president. The concern, like I mentioned, out of the 3 is hanging around the neck of Dr. Apiahene, who, you know, because he's a TESCON patron or publicly so known, people are saying that he should not be given that kind of public position, because naturally, if he works with the Electoral Commission, which is supposed to be a neutral institution or a unit, his biases may come to play. There are, NPP individuals and communicators are already downplaying that concern that, look, he is a Ghanaian, he has the interest of the country at heart, so even if he's given that position, he will work to the benefit of the country. But he is also politically tainted. So that's where the conversation is, and that's why many are saying that the president should reconsider that part. In a related development, former President John Mahama has also been speaking about the need to reform how appointments of persons onto the Electoral Commission is done. Let's listen to what the former president said.
Topical. The appointment of known party activists onto the Electoral Commission by our current president may require an amendment of Article 43(2) to provide for parliamentary approval of new commissioners appointed onto the commission.
So primarily, instead of just the president saying that I'm appointing this person and that to the Electoral Commission, which is supposed to be a neutral institution, people are saying the former president is proposing that Parliament comes in so that Parliament vets or gets to know who is being appointed, and then that person's background is checked. So if they don't have any political affiliation, it works for the betterment of all. There has been a response from the NPP. National organizer of the party, Henry Nana Boakye, has rubbished all the concerns that are being thrown about the newly appointed EC member, Dr. Peter Apiahene, saying that they are over his overt affiliation to the party, and says it would not affect his neutrality. There has been widespread criticism over his open association with the NPP and the potential for him to be compromised in electoral processes elections, especially as we head into a major election in 2024. Civil society organizations have already called on the president to revoke that appointment. Henry Nana Boakye also denies that Dr. Appiah Ahene was a TESCON patron. And here's a quote from him. We'll put it on the screen shortly for you to see. He says that Dr. Appiah Ahene only engaged with TESCON at the University of Education of Energy and Natural Resources campus as a resource person, not a patron. He has never been a patron per my checks or per his checks. His NPP affiliation does not compromise the EC's neutrality. He is a professional, competent and experienced individual. He's experienced enough to discharge his work, and he is going to be neutral. So, I mean, Henry Nana Boakye, national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, is holding a different position as compared to what many in civil society, the NDC, or many neutrals have said. What do you, the Ghanaian, you will be going to the polls to vote? What are your thoughts on this? Because these are subjects of national interest, and you should also have a share or a take on it. Be happy to know on our various social media platforms. Do share them with us. We'll be happy to reshare it with the rest of the world. Away from that, former Finance Minister and flag bearer, hopeful of the National Democratic Congress, Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, has urged the NDC to put in place a strategy and a clear vision to help revive what he calls as the ailing economy caused by the New Patriotic Party. He says the NDC may inherit a difficult situation in 2025 after the 2024 elections, but the party is capable to revive the economy as they have done in the past. He was speaking after he filed his nomination at the party headquarters in Accra.
I salute all of you here this afternoon. Today, I have submitted my nomination forms to contest the 2024 flag bearership contest. Now, I would like to add that this defining moment is not about Kwabena Duffuor. It's just a testament to my personal commitment to the party and to the nation, and a national duty as a citizen to contribute to the betterment of a country all of us so love. That's why we are here. Comrades, we are preparing for 2024 elections. To some of us, a major issue that is always in our mind is how do we empower the party.
All right, we're staying on issues of the NDC and filing of nominations because only one of the 31 individuals who picked nomination forms to contest the parliamentary primaries for the opposition NDC in the Upper West region is a female. Records available indicate that 23 of the aspirants are new entrants, while 8 are sitting members of parliament. The opposition National Democratic Congress, the NDC, will on May 13 hold its presidential and parliamentary primaries across all 275 constituencies to elect candidates for the 2024 general elections. In spite of the affirmative action taken by the party, only one female is aspiring to become the parliamentary candidate in the Upper West region and for the Jirapa seat. The Wa Central and the Nadole Kaleo constituencies recorded the highest number of aspirants of 4 each, while Wa West, Wa East, Jirapa, Laura, Lambusie and Sisala East constituencies have 3 aspirants each. The Dafiama Busie Isa, Sisala West and Nandom constituencies have 2 aspirants each picking nomination forms. One of the new entrants into the race is Dr. Titus Beyo, who resigned as the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association to contest for the Lambusie seat.
Why is Dr. Beyo going into this contest? I'm sure a lot of you have heard that I have resigned my position from the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association to come and serve my people. It is for a good cause. Wow. It is for a good cause, and we will not let you down. Look at Lambuse. We remain the only district without an inch of tarred roads. Look at our party office. It is nothing to write home about. We have to do this address outside because of the sheer heat, lack of a light, and anything in the party office. Dr. Bello is coming on some basic principles. First, to revive, retool, and revamp our party. In the coming days, we are going to resource the party from all the branches through to the constituency level.
The incumbent Member of Parliament for Wa West, Superintendent Peter Lanchene Tobu, retired, is one of those seeking re-election.
We think that we need to do the needful, stick together in Parliament, support the processes in Parliament, and prevent the NPP government from passing any law that will create chaos in this country. So we are staying together in Parliament and letting the Ghanaian people know that together we shall fight to meet the expectation of the general public. We shall fight to meet the expectation of the Ghanaian people. And we are doing the best that we can.
Some branch executives in the Wa West constituency have been speaking about why they are rallying behind Peter Lanchene Tobu.
They are behind Honorable Peter Lanchene Tobu because of the hard work that he has done so far. If you go to my own polling station, it's a place where you used not in the night, your animals cannot just have a freedom of movement. Every small time you hear that somebody has kidnapped this thing away. But this time around, Honorable has provided us with street lights. So if you get up there, you are always free to go.
And as your election command center, will definitely be updating you on developments in the political space in Ghana. This is Midday Live. Stay with us. Business is up next.
Aware that globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. That's why by giving her Pepsodent, you're not only protecting her teeth, but also helping her grow up and thrive at every stage of her life with a healthy and confident smile, so she can succeed and achieve all of her dreams. Because every smile matters.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period na say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me mogam no mo he bibia na so mo medro me fire no ene ma won kra me nu kofro kwa na mkwan mu a eba head everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama nu nura ene ne ho idea watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you.
Hello.
Hey,
ohwehwe what che?
Okay.
A free bra wo di end point what dance. Am me call you no. Me Joseph sema na enkoyie e person na my emre nyina na magina sebema na me be fie for there e ho na nyina jaresa.
You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo Superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
When it comes to the world of sports, what does complete mean to you?
When my team scores at the end of a 30-plus passing sequence, you know, just like Pep Guardiola style.
When someone beats the buzzer with a shot from the logo, like Steph Curry.
Dominating opponents and punching my waist to a knockout like like Africa's greatest boxer, Azumah Nelson.
Running so fast that I can afford to celebrate midway through a 100-meter race and smash the world record like Usain Bolt.
Hold up. What makes all of these sports complete is the screen. This is where you get access to all the extensive highlights, analysis, and insights.
So do join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. live on 3FM 92.7 as we serve you the best sports buffet and most satisfying in the sports world. The 3 Sports team will come together to review, preview, and analyze the latest in the sports world here on Sports Ultras.
No matter where,
the Capitals always tuned in their offices.
You actually said it before, right? Yeah. Oh, okay.
in their retail centers.
Even in their busy marketplaces.
And in their cars.
Even in their homes and in their rooms, they listen. The capital is always tuned in.
Yes, we run the city. Hill 3 FM 92.7.
Your Urban Lifestyle Radio.
Join Giovanni and AJ Sapon on 3FM Drive 92.7 Monday to Friday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. We run the city on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio station.
Right, good afternoon and welcome to the very latest in the world of business. My name is Kwesi Asari. Let's begin with happenings on the domestic front, and Fitch Solutions says it does not expect Ghana to receive financing assurance, which is a major prerequisite for an International Monetary Fund board approval of the much-needed bailout program before the end of the second quarter. The government had targeted March ending for approval of a $3 billion loan, but it's become apparent the timeline is unrealistic. There's more in the following Newsdesk report.
Approval for the IMF bailout is hinged on the government's ability to reduce the country's debt to GDP from 104% to 55% in 3 years. The government has been engaging bilateral creditors for financing assurances to achieve this huge task after partially completing a domestic debt restructuring. According to Fitch, the domestic debt exchange, which resulted in heavy losses for bondholders, only reduced the debt to GDP by 1 percentage point using the IMF World Bank debt sustainability measure. Even when completed, the debt will still remain above 100% to GDP. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is currently in China seeking extension of moratorium and debt payments, plus a haircut on the $1.9 billion owed Beijing. In its latest assessment, Fitch predicts Ghana would receive financial assurance from creditors after the second quarter. This could be very worrying if it materializes, as it will prolong Ghana's economic recovery and further dampen investor confidence.
Elsewhere, players in the food and beverages industry have warned of massive job losses if Parliament goes ahead to approve government's new tax measures. Now, 2 revenue bills proposed by the Finance Ministry as part of measures to boost revenue generation will be up for consideration in Parliament today. These include the 20% excise tax on water and other sweetened beverages, as well as the 5% tax on profits before tax. Member of the Food and Beverages Association, John Awuni, says Parliament must reject the new revenue measures.
A lot of private sector players are already exploring avenues to relocate to other countries, such as Togo and Cote d'Ivoire, so that they can just produce there and ship the goods down to Ghana. So it is in the interest of government, it is in the interest of the executive, it is in the interest of parliament not to approve these bills. I can assure you that government will not meet its targets, its revenue targets from the passage of these bills.
Let's stay a while longer in Parliament, where the minority is boasting of vindication for advising government not to buy the South Deepwater oil block, which ACA wanted to sell to the country at an estimated amount of $1.65 billion. The Norwegian Energy Group made its disinterest known earlier this month after it failed to submit a plan in the oil field. Former Energy Minister and Deputy Minority Leader Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa says the South Deepwater oil block could not be worth $1.65 billion. Hence, Ghana would have been the loser if government had proceeded with the purchase agreement.
We warned the government, led by Nana Addo, that this asset, especially the AGM part of the asset, was valueless and risky. And we insisted that the valuation, you need to value an asset to make sure you know how much it is valued. And we insisted that that so-called valuation they've done cannot let the state buy that asset at that price. We warned them, we insisted, we spoke about the risk of the South Deepwater Tunnel block and said that, first of all, the block was 3,000 meters deep. The technology to develop that block does not even exist. So why will Ake, who wants to make money, sell that used a block to Ghana?
No, maybe that's... that was a little bit of interruption there. That's all for the business news segment here on Midday Live. For more business news stories, do well to visit our website. It's www.3news.com.
People fall and they rise. Make you no worry about the things you know we change. The things you know we do today, you go do them tomorrow.
Wow, this girl's got talent. You too can change your world, and it's affordable with Airtel Tigo data bundles.
Bring your dreams to life with the best data bundles only on Airtel Tigo. Dial *111# now.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Zest Consult is the best place for your IELTS, SAT, and GRE tuition. The IELTS facilitates study, work, and live abroad. The SAT and GRE facilitate study abroad on scholarships. Zest Consult has an amazing track record of training around 4,000 students, nurses, midwives, and many others who have excelled in these examinations and realized their study and work abroad dreams. Contact us if you really want to study on scholarship. Zest Consult also provides real estate, automobile, and IT solution services. We can help you buy or sell lands and buildings and rent office spaces or accommodation. We can also help you obtain a car loan or buy or sell a car. If your institution needs a stunning website and amazing software, then contact us. You can call or WhatsApp us on 0345 631 633 or 050 909 2330. You can locate us at Kumasi Cultural Center and the Chamsume 5 inside Willas Towers. Zest Consult, excellence is our hallmark.
They say the cars we drive says a lot about us. Therefore, are you looking at doing an upgrade, a modification, or even adding an accessory to your car, but want it done by professionals? Then you are welcome to DCM Ghana. At DCM, we do interior and exterior upgrades and modification for all car makes, models, and years. Be it body kits, modified or upgraded headlights and tail lights, ambience lights, LED bulbs, Android radios and headrests, push-to-start systems, alarms, GPS trackers, starry lights, and more for all cars. Do you have worn-out car seats, dashboards, floors, and ceilings, and want them changed into an amazing look? then come to us. Let us put our professional handcrafted masterpiece touch to the interior of your car with premium high quality materials. DCM Ghana, we say enjoy driving.
I love my life. So the moment the COVID-19 vaccine was available, I went for my jab. I want to stay away from getting too sick or even going to the hospital.
Me too. Nothing is more painful than losing your life or a family member or getting sick when you know the vaccine can stop that.
The COVID-19 vaccine is safe. You only live once, so take the vaccine to enjoy your good life. Get vaccinated now. This message is from the Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Service with support from USAID and partners.
Are you ready for an unforgettable adventure? TV3 and 3FM present.
Good afternoon, it's time for sports here on Middle Life. My name is Kelvin Owusu-Antah. Stepping to Kumasi for the Black Stars game against the Palancas Negras of Angola, and about 20,061 tickets have been sold now, but more expected ahead of the game that kicks off at 4 p.m. Fans in Kumasi have been getting ready for the important clash, and 3 Sports Ore Kwampofo has been given updates on the Gojin mood.
Quite a lengthy time before the game, some few hours before the game. People are already trooping in to get their tickets. And if you could just join me, you are in very early. Do you already have your ticket, or are you now trying to get your ticket?
Yeah, I'm having my tickets. I did that online. Okay. But when I'm here, I went to the gate and they were directing me to come here. But when I come here, the gate is closed, so I'm just stranded here.
Okay, I'm sure they'll probably let you in soon. But why are you coming so early for the game?
I'm here to support my nation. I love the country so much. That is why I'm here early.
And who's your favorite player? And what the score prediction?
Thomas Partey.
Okay, and a prediction for today?
2-0.
Came very early so that at least we can get a safe place to sit today. I remember the last time we came for Nigeria and Ghana match, we hardly got inside, so that's why we came here very early to get some place to sit.
And what's prediction for today?
3-0 in favor of Ghana.
Okay, and and what's your expectation for the game?
My expectation is that we want Ghana to go far. We have a new crop of players coming in, so we are going in with full support for them to go in for a win, a massive win, 4-0 win. That will do.
Thank you very much. And so in a few hours, this place will be really packed ahead of the big game between Ghana and Angola. It's Chris Hughton's first game in charge of the national team, and a lot of people here in Kumasi are looking forward to it.
Well, 3 hours more to the game, and Sheriff Tiraspol defender Patrick Pozo received a special welcome at the Barbara Sports Stadium ahead of the game this afternoon. Pozo will be competing with Gideon Mensah for a starting role at left back due to the absence of injured Barbara Man. Ore Kwampofo spoke to the fans.
So we're at the Barbara Sports Stadium, and the Black Stars are getting ready to face Angola. There's a key story here because Patrick Pozo, who is getting his debut call-up with the national team, has a huge fan club here.
Yeah, we have started from the grassroots because Patrick Pozo, we know what he can do, what he's doing, and what he can do better. That's the reason why we formed this fan club.
Yeah, we are looking forward for Patrick Pozo to play today. Even if he will not start, we expect the coach to use him at least in the second half.
If he get the opportunity to play, I know he will play his heart out. And the whole voter region will be happy. And he will be a Votarian that we come with our blood. You know it's a red blood of him that we will never ever forget it.
The Black Stars are getting ready to play Angola this afternoon, but the people of Aplau in the Volta region would be hoping that Patrick Pozo would be making his debut for the Black Stars. His fan club are right behind me. They will be supporting him and hoping that he has a fantastic game.
Well, there will be a number of groups like this coming in to support their own players in the Black Stars. Follow our 3 Sports GH for the very latest from Kumasi and the Ghana-Angola game. That will be all for sports. My name is Kelvin Owusu-Antah. Entertainment is next.
Free entertainment.
Good afternoon. Let's do some updates here on Midday Live. My name is Noella. Now, from losing the 2022 VGMA Unsung category to Gambo, fast emerging artists, Chief One is back on the Best New Artist category for the 24th VGMA. The promising singer has been speaking about his chances.
Last year you were on the Unsung category. Gambo emerged winner of that particular category. How was that process
for me? It's more for me. You know, I have to work, and the work, you know, be just only that time. It have to show. We are going. We keep going. You understand? Every artist would love to have a work, but if you know come that one, you don't have to stop anything. You never spoil anything. We keep going. That's all.
All right, VGMA Best New Artist of the Year.
Yeah.
Is that the only category you were expecting to make?
No, not really. We fought for some couple of categories. Afrobeat and Video of the Year. Yes, Afrobeat Song of the Year. Dragba. I have, you know, you hear Dragba before?
I've Dragba.
Yeah, Dragba is a big song. They play it here in Accra, Kumasi, everywhere. Volta region peak, even in Togo, everywhere. So I was expecting Dragba to appear over there. But all the same, they know best.
All right, so who in that category do you see as competition?
Everyone there is a cop. I don't really know them. I don't really go through well, but I don't know. For me, I'm just doing my thing, and you know, that's all. Competition, I don't compete. Life is too short to be competing. Let me give that one to the fans. They will do it for me. To be special to me, you understand? Because I've been working on this, not today. And you know, VGMA is a big platform, so it will mean a lot to me.
All right, so musically, what's the plan for 2023? I know the year just opened.
I think Abon will come out. We're preparing Abon in a couple of years. Big things. Awards will come in. That's all.
We're definitely wishing him all the best. Now, on to some more stories. Movie producer and talent manager Samira Yakubu is worried about how successive governments have done little or nothing for the creative industry. According to the Red Carpet producer, the creative space has the potential to market the country globally. She was speaking at the press launch of her latest movie, Taste of Sin.
I came to fight my feelings for you.
We live in this country, the entertainment industry is not respected by any other person outside the entertainment industry. But the entertainment industry is the one that sells the country first. And that is, the entertainment industry is the one that can take the country everywhere. But it's hard for policymakers to respect the sector. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I have not seen, to be honest, any of these governments that have come, that have done anything particularly that anybody can show me if I am wrong to the entertainment industry to push. If someone comes from out and wants equipment to shoot film itself, where would we go to? We don't have. So you need to buy your own cameras, you need to buy your own lights, you need to buy your own equipment to be able to produce a film, a good job. So it's difficult for us. We call on government to support the industry. The industry is an important industry. We shouldn't look at it as just jokers or entertainers.
And that's how we wrap up on entertainment here on Midday Live. My name is Noella. Up next, international news.
Equatorial Guinea has confirmed 8 more cases of a Marburg virus disease, bringing the total to 9 since February when it was first declared. The World Health Organization said the cases of a viral hemorrhagic fever were confirmed following laboratory analysis of additional samples. It's noted that there were 20 probable cases and deaths. The new cases were reported from areas bordering Cameroon and Gabon. The cases are from areas that are 50 kilometers apart, and the World Health Organization is suggesting a wider transmission of a virus. It said it was working with national authorities to set up emergency response measures. It comes days after Tanzania, on the other side of the continent, confirmed 8 cases of a viral disease, including 5 deaths.
And that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you very much for watching. Our website, 3news.com, has all the stories we brought to you this afternoon and several others. My name is Martin Esiedu Datib. Have a good afternoon, and as always, stay positive. Bye for now.
This program is rated PG. It contains scenes of brief nudity, mild violence, and strong language. Parental guidance